Hey guys, so today I'll be talking about raids. As you guys know, Rift of World is one of the end game content that Comptos has offered us, and in it you can farm a variety of items such as, wait, let me check. Yep. The enchanted gems and grindstone and all. Of course, we only want the enchanted gems and most importantly of all, the grindstones. The occasional mister is nice, but we all know that we're not gonna get anything good out of it. Now for the grindstones are used to enhance the stats of your runes. If you have a rune that's plus 12, your stats are maxed and you can't change it anymore. Then it's either use an enchanted gem to swap out a useless stat such as like a flat attack stat, like maybe that you have a attack plus 12, you can swap it out to a better stat of perhaps accuracy plus 7, which is much more useful for a monster. Or you can grindstone it out, like what most M game players are doing. That's why you have the appearance of a 340 speed Bernard. Now, for raids, there's quite a lot of things you want to consider. From raid R1 to R2, there's front lines and then there's back lines. Yep, wait, let me, my defense is okay. Whereas there's front lines and back lines, and you can, even though there's 8 slots, you can only put 6 monsters in those front and back lines. So you need to choose wisely such that your team is able to complete the raid in a sense. Now for front lines, the most important thing is to have HP and also defense on them. You wanna for any type of build that you wanna go on your frontliners, you wanna have either a mix of HP defense on your slot 2, 4 and 6, or you wanna have HP defense. Depending on which setup will benefit you more. If you wanna see like which setup benefits you more, you probably wanna consider the monster's base HP stats and also the base defense stats, which is quite obvious. If the base HP is higher, you may want to go for HP defense to benefit more with more HP, or the defense is higher, you can do like HP defense, or you can switch it around. Cause if the HP is higher, which means like you're probably gonna get more of that HP 63% rune than like for some other monster with a lower base stat. Now the boss has several attack skills. Well, the first skill causes to attack enemies and apply attack speed slow, damage debuff, and also oblivion, which means any monsters with passive such as Veramos, like Tessarion, like Perna, all those, they won't be as effective here if they were in some other PvE or PvP content elsewhere, like for example Karos Dungeons or perhaps Arena. That's why even though most players, if not every player is aiming to get or have a Veramos, he may not be the wisest idea to put into this setup. Now the boss's second skill causes it to target the frontliners and attack that ignores all beneficial effects, and the damage increases substantially as the target's defense decreases. That's why you want your frontliners to have high defense such that they do not take as much damage from the boss's attack, and your other guys at the back, or perhaps even your frontliners the healers I mean, they can heal them back up easily. This monster will attack the back line if there are no monsters left in the front line, which is another reason why you want your frontliners alive. If you look at across all the raids, there's a lot of Dias and also Darien. These monsters with their passive, there's a damage reduction effect, which lets your other team be able to survive easier with a lesser health requirement. Of course, they are still vulnerable to the Oblivion debuff, which means that you need to rune them with high resistance, such that the boss cannot apply the debuff as much. Because as we all know, it's resistance 100%, you're still going to get debuffed, no matter what happens. Now since you are attacking a boss, you don't want the boss to do too much damage to your team, so you don't get a team wipe. So you want to consider the different types of debuffs that you can apply to the boss. If for me personally, I will rank attack debuff the first with heal block debuff second, followed by perhaps glancing, then some of the other also quite helpful debuffs such as slow or defense debuff. Now, because for one of the boss's attacks, is it this one or that? I think it's this one. Yes. When it becomes a range, when the opponent gets a turn, the skill automatically range 16 times. So when you get your turn 16 times, he removes all beneficial effects and recovers HP proportional to the number of removed beneficial effects. So if you look at that, you take it from that perspective, he's gonna heal by a lot, and you can like significantly literally see the boss HP bar increase. That's why you need a heal debuff, or else this fight is gonna take forever. I think it will not take forever. The boss is gonna get stronger as time goes by, which means you're gonna lose sooner or later. So you want your team to be able to kill it fast enough, but also live. I didn't really stress this, but for raids, as you probably expect, sustainability is much more important than damage. You want your team to be able to live. Like the damage part, it comes in when your team is able to, when your team is able to sustain. Like my DS just died. I think like cause of a lack of debuff, perhaps during one of the attacks. Yeah, I think so. The other team are doing okay, but yeah, we should be able to do this. Anyways, yeah, like I was saying, the debuffs really matter a lot. Like for some creatures, for some monsters, like perhaps you want to use Shihua, which has a branding, which allows other monsters to do 25% increased damage to the boss. That's also a good debuff, but you can consider it more like a bonus. You want your team to have all of those debuffs, like pair with. You want to do some sort of pairing system. For example, like my Delphoid, she acts as a cleanser, and with a very small heal due to her class. Also, if she crits, her first skill has a attack speed slow. Then, even though her second skill is not much, as in cause it resets but it doesn't really do much to the boss. But because of her first skill and her ability to cleanse, that's why I have her in. Also as a frontliner, cause she has a good HP and a good defense, which I can capitalize on, so such that she can tank the damage. As you can see, I got some mana stones, which is worth nothing, pretty much. Okay, let me restart this. Why is this lagging? No, I also have. No, let me. Okay. I also have Colin, whose first skill. I have Colin on Violent Revenge because her first skill deals attack debuff, which is very useful. And her second gives a heal debuff and her third gives a healing buff with an attack buff. As it's not really a healing buff, it's a heal plus an attack buff. So if you consider her overall kit, she gives attack debuff, gives a heal block, and also heals your team, which makes her a very good contendant for this. Chasun is another not bad choice. Yeah, in this matter of respect, because for her first skill she has cleansing, which if she applies is very useful, and she has a muse, which is similar to Colin's third skill, gives a heal and also gives a attack buff. And for third skill, Chasun has the Fallen Blossoms, which causes the HP bar and also the what do you call it, a speed bar, I guess, to balance out with another monster, taking the highest one. So if your other monster has lower health, you'll cause both to go to the same health. And if your Chosun has a lower attack bar than the monster that you've Fallen Blossom, your Chosun will go to the same attack bar, which cause it to be faster. You know what it means. Just look at the skills. Gameplay everywhere. Actually Bernard is not a very good choice here because but he's doing okay, as in he's able to feed my team, is able to accomplish Raid 4 at this current stage and current time. So that's why I have him in there. He has a speed buff, which is always nice, and his second provides a defense break and also a attack debuff, which if my other team members are unable to do or unable to place any debuff on the boss at that moment in time, he could come in handy as a replacement, a backup. Then have Bella, who doesn't really provide much besides armor break and also a heal and attack bar boost. I'm planning to replace my Bella with I'm planning to replace Bella with Konamiya, because as you guys know, Konamiya is a very good natural 2-star with a research that increases one of your allies attack bar to max and also a heal that's around I think on max cooldown is 3 turns. Now this guy has a Konamiya, so you can just check. Oh, can't check actually, but it should be 3 turns. Then I'm also planning to replace my Bernard with the Wind Hark. One of the new monsters that come to us has thrown out recently. The Wind Hark first skill gives attack bar to 15% if he gets to attack with his first skill, which is also acts like a speed buff in a sense, but it's different case from Bernard. But he sort of fills the role of Bernard in that consideration. Then his second, if I can remember, it either gives attack buff or decreases, as in it either decreases the attack bar or gives a attack debuff. And for his third, he's also a cleanser. He removes all beneficial, as in, sorry, you don't want to remove your beneficial effects. Removes all the debuffs of your team and gives them a temporary shield, I believe, for one turn that increases according to his defense. So he's a very good contender for this as well, and if you put him on Violent, he's gonna work quite well. Like, you guys may have other monsters, but that's the team I'm currently running. And do consider Darien or Diaz, cause they are really quite useful. Right. So you want to look at your own monster arsenal or your base or whatever you want to call it. Then you want to look at the skills, the first, second, and third, and think about what they can provide to the raid team. Then you want to look at your raid team in general and see whether your frontliners have enough HP and defense to last whichever raid stage 1 to 5 that you're doing, and also enough heals to outlast. And then in the end, after you go into the page before you press ready, you want to look at your other team members and see if their team matches well enough with your own team. Oh yes, and one more important consideration is the leader skills of the monsters that you bring. Now for raid, you want to have resistance is a priority leader skill over others. Second in place would be HP or defense. Then third would be all the others you like. If you add crit rate or something, some other nonsense that you want to use, that's fine. Because as I previously said, the boss gives resistance to, as in the boss applies debuffs, which needs resistance to resist. Simply said. So you want your monsters to have a resist rate such that that your monsters won't have to be ruined with too much resistance, which can be covered by the resistance leader skill. So like monsters like Thessarion, Praha all have a resistance lead of 41%, which is like, is it the highest? I don't want the highest, but it's a very good one. Like some people use Thessarion as at the backline as a damage dealer, and also purely for his leader skill, cause his first applies his passive doesn't really do much to the boss, and his first also doesn't really do much to the boss because continuous damage is not gonna land on the boss, and his second just applies a defense debuff. So in his overall kit, he might not look like he bring much, but if your other team members can hold your ground, oh my god, my team looks like they're dying. Never mind. If your other team members can hold their ground, you might consider him just as a damage dealer at the back with like for R5 top requirement, 20k HP at minimum. Then also use him as for his leader skill. Like for me, I'm using Diaz who has a 30% resist bleed, which is, oh my god, this sucks. Wow, he get a mystical skill, which is okay, but if other team members have a Praha, let them use their resistance leader skill. Then if you can find any HP or defense leader skill like among you guys yourselves, the 3%, you should use it. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you can leave in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you next time.